This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hi, good morning all. So let's get started now. So in the last class we worked on approval process, right? So now, so here approval process is for auto loan is different. Okay. So what we can do is, so we can modify this approval process based on the condition. Okay. So here we have a concept called circumstance, you know. So based on the condition, so we can create the variant copy. Okay, and it will be like the duplicate of this one, the conditional rule. Okay, and we will modify that rule as per auto loan process. And if you execute auto loan flow, the conditional rule will be executed. Other than auto loan, the original rule means like this one will be executed. Okay, so mostly we do the circumstance for flows, flow actions and sections, and sometimes for activities, data transforms and decision tables also. So we create conditional rules. Okay, so how can we know whether a rule can be circumstance or not is, so if you go to the actions drop down, let me check in this rule. Sorry, here. Okay, we have a specialized by circumstance. If you say this option for any rule, that means that rule can be circumstanced. Okay, now if you go to the section or flow action or activity, so you will see this option. Okay, so now click on this. Okay, so the circumstance by the template, it is for like so if you want to put the conditions on more than one property. Okay, so let's say we are not only considering the loan type. So along with the loan type, if we are considering some other property, then we need to go for the template. Again, we need to create two different rules for this. Okay, so we need to create a template and definition for this circumstance. And we have one more option called property and date. Okay, so if you are putting condition on a property or date or both, so we can choose this option. Okay, so here our requirement is, so we are modifying the flow if loan type is auto loan, right? So loan details dot the loan type is auto loan. This is the condition. Okay, and create it. See now the circumstance rule has been created, and now so we don't need this for auto loan. So PMI premium calculation. Okay, so what we can do is we can remove this, and if it is not risky directly, yeah, so it will go for manager approvals. Take this corrector. So we can handle in different way also, but let's say you have if you want to modify a lot of things, then like by putting the conditions will make confusion for other developers. Okay, so you can create a circumstance rule, and this is applicable for only auto loan. See here, loan type is equivalent to auto loan, right? So if it is not risky, directly it will go for manager approvals without calculating PMI premium and loan officer required. So here we have a decision table, and based on that it will decide whether it has to go for loan officer or not. That's it. Okay, any questions?
So, Satya, can you explain one more time?
So based on the condition, so we can create a variant copy. The variant copy is nothing but this one, the conditional rule. So this one we can call it circumstantial rule or variant rule, or we can call it conditional rule, or we can also call it as qualifier. Okay, so this is conditionalized rule. Okay, so we have already a rule, and based on the conditions, so we created this. Okay, so in the runtime, if the condition is satisfied, it will pick the conditional rule, otherwise it will pick the base rule. See now, so once you create a circumstance rule, you will see this option. See, expandable option. Okay, so base rule, that is the original rule, and this is the conditional rule. Okay, clear?
We have to invoke this in the
Yeah, we need to invoke, obviously, right? Yeah, so now go to the auto loan flow and invoke at the end. So while invoking, so we cannot invoke only conditional rule like that. So you need to invoke. So the name is same, right? Name is same, but it is conditionalized. Okay. So now at the end, okay, it is in 02, save as into 03. So let's include assets and liabilities. So we included that only for home loan, right? What is the collect assets and liabilities? Then include sub process to invoke approval process. Okay. Right. So now if we execute auto loan, so the auto loan one will be taken. So how can we test that? So we need to, so here, so if you look at, the base rule, so here we have a PMI premium. Okay. And so if you are not putting, you execute home loan, and if you are not putting, okay, so if you are not giving asking price or down payment, so even it will not go for manager approvals, right? So you must need to enter asking price and down payment in order to calculate, in order to execute this when rule. Okay, so that we have seen, right? So without entering those details, it will be, it will not go to the next level of approvals. So now execute auto loan, okay, and put more assets than liabilities and see whether it is directly going for approvals without calculating excuse me, this one, right? So execute auto loan. And so what are the conditions we define here for risk? Yeah, assets, and if it is auto loan and borrower income, okay, this one, right? This one also should satisfy. Income, let's say 10 lakhs. Okay, so 10 plus 10, 20 into 2. So you can enter the loan amount up to 40 lakhs. Okay, yeah. Put the loan amount. So this is, auto loan, right? So, and you need to restrict these values. If it is auto loan, you need to display only these two values. Okay, now submit it. So we are entering more assets than liabilities. Okay, and when you submit it, and it has to go for approvals. Okay, means like it has to go for manager. So what we can do is, so let's say you are the routing, that concept will be covered later. So we can route auto loan assignments to one operator and home loan assignments to different operators, so that so based on that, like if you execute auto loan, it will be routed to auto loan related operators. Okay, so now let's submit it. The result risky, I think. So we entered borrower income, spouse income, 10 plus 10 into 2. So we entered 35 lakhs, right? The loan amount. Auto loan, so you need to check that. Spouse income. 10 lakhs, right? And spouse income also 10 lakhs. Okay, this is 1 lakh. That's the reason. Okay, so you need to enter the same so that it will not go for the risky, right? So you understand, huh? So since it is an auto loan, so it will pick the auto loan related this circumstantial flow. Okay, clear? And in some places, like so for home loan screen, right? Let me open that. Okay, that is fine. So mostly, we do the circumstance for sections and flow action flows, okay, and decision rules also mostly. Let's say, you designed a section which is executing for, all the implementation classes, let's say, and you want to modify, you want to put multiple conditions for one region, okay. Still you can handle in the same section, but like, if one condition is not satisfied, then it will impact, right? If let's say, some implementation says that like I want to only, these properties, and some other, you know implementation want only, doesn't want, those properties. So in that case, like, for each field you need to put the conditions in the section, okay. So that will impact on the performance. So you create a variant rule based on the condition. For that implementation, you make the conditional rule executed, okay. So now if we want to put conditions on more than one property, so here we consider only loan type, and based on that we designed it, right? So if you want to consider more than one property, so we need to choose the template. For that, so we need to create the circumstance template and circumstance definition, okay. So this is called multivariant circumstance or multi-property circumstance, okay. So if you want to put conditions on more than one property, okay. So we need to create a circumstance template. These are the separate rule types, okay. And we have a circumstance definition. So in the circumstance template, we define all the properties, and here we define the conditions, okay. So if it is more than one property, create template and put all the properties which you are going to use to create a circumstance rule, and what conditions need to be satisfied. So those conditions, defined in definition, okay. So in our application, so we are calculating the borrower risk based on the credit score, right? So that is common for both auto loan and home loan, okay. So let me open that circumstance, sorry, the decision table for determining the risk rate adjustment, or you can take any other rule. So if we execute auto loan or home loan or for any condition, mean like, for any kind of data, so it will return same. So it will consider only credit score, not any other properties, right? So if you enter the credit score 800, it will return, this much. Now our requirement is, if state is AP and gender is female, let's say there will be lesser risk rate. So in that case, so based on those two conditions, so we need to alter this. decision table. So create the circumstance rule, okay, and specify that, select the template option and modify this rule, okay. So either like, based on the requirement, either by decreasing these values or, increasing, okay. So if the condition is satisfied, then the conditional rule will be executed, otherwise the base rule, okay. So the requirement is if the state is AP and gender is female, so we need to define the lesser risk rate adjustment values. So the values should be reduced, okay. Clear? So we need to make sure those properties are available before executing this, okay. So go to the borrower details. Let me execute this. So do we have gender property here? No. And even we do not have the country state, right? So let's take this section, borrower details. So do we have gender property? But we have in the work class, right? So you create in the borrower, but here I am using from work class, okay. And country, state, city also available in the work class, and you can reuse here, okay. Go to the borrower details, save as into 03. Just we are considering gender and the state. Take this property. So now what we can do is go to the customer details section and we can copy country, state, city properties, okay. So take the country property. So if you drag these properties again, you need to define the source, okay. So now, so whatever the source it has, the same thing will be applicable for here also. So again, you don't need to define, okay. So copy it and paste here. But generally these properties also should be in the borrower, okay. Right. So now, so how many properties are involving? Two, right? Gender and state. If gender is female and state is AP, then we are conditionalizing the decision table. So if we select female but not AP, then the base rule will be executed, right? So now go to the decision table. So before that, so we need to create circumstance template and circumstance definition, right? So in the circumstance template, we need to define the properties. So template and definition are part of technical category, okay. So go to the circumstance template, define the risk rate. So how many properties, gender and state? Okay. So if you are considering along with these two, you need to specify those also. Okay. Now go to the circumstance definition. Define risk rate. Okay. So while creating the definition, so we need to select the template, because in the definition you will be able to put conditions on only defined properties in the template. Okay. So that's the reason. So the whatever the conditions we need to put, like on the properties, those properties must be defined in this template. Okay. If gender is female and state is AP, this will be the conditional rule will be executed. Clear? So it looks like decision table, right? Yeah. So but it is not. So this is a circumstance definition. So you cannot add like this. So you can add, but you need to put the same properties, not the, okay, even, yeah, you cannot add new column, right? See here, you can delete the column, but you cannot add it. Okay. So now, so go to the rule which you want to circumstance, that is, yeah, determine risk rate. Where is that? Where is the decision table? Yeah. Okay. So now go to the specialize by circumstance, and so we need to select this option only. Okay. The template. So if it is not coming in the drop down, so what we can do is, so both the names are same, right? We can define. You can now see first define the template, and you will see the definition. Okay. So now modify the written values. Let's say it is 0.001 and this is 2. Okay. So we are putting the different the risk rate values. So now how can we test the condition? So let's execute either auto loan or home loan. Okay. And what is this option? Okay. Call based decision. Okay, we'll check that. So let's execute any flow and let's put the credit score 800 and select gender as female and state is AP and see whether it is returning the value. Konjam door ega, please. The credit score, right? Where we have that property, yeah. So let's put 800 and gender is female and state is AP. Okay, so now this should return 0.001. Okay, and see. Okay, right? So it is returning 0.001. So you open the tracer before submitting it, and so the decision table will be executed. You will see on the tracer, and you can open the decision table from tracer itself. Okay, if conditional rule is executed, you can open that. Okay, similarly for any other rule, right? So now let's execute the flow by putting the same condition, like the same values. Select gender as female. Okay, but not AP. Okay, but not AP. So what is the expected outcome here? Should not execute the circumstance rule, right? Should execute the base rule, that is 0.002. Okay, let's see. Okay, clear? So this is how we use the circumstance. So it's very important for interface. So what are the types of circumstances? The date circumstance, the property circumstance, and the template, which is also called as multi-property circumstance. So now, let's look at date circumstance. Take any rule. Just I am showing that condition, but mostly we go for property or template. In very rare cases, we go for the date. Like if you want to execute that rule only this period. Okay. See, you define the date property, okay, and specify the start date and end date. Start date is tomorrow and end date is 22. Okay, and if you define the property, date property, okay, and if this date property is falls in between start date and end date, then this rule will be executed. Clear? So this property must be greater than this. That means like it should be in between the start date and end date. So you don't define the date property here. You define only start date and end date. So it will check with the current date, not current date. Yeah, the defined dates. 10/18. So this will be executed from this date to this date. But if you define this and this date falls in between this, then only this will be executed. So let's say you specify date property and that is 10/17. It will not execute. If this property is 10/18 after this time, or like in between this. Okay. So now you define only the start date. So it will start executing from this and there is no end date. Okay. So from this date, always this will be executed. Okay. This is how the date circumstance works. But generally we don't go for, like if you are implementing an application, so where you are providing, some discounts in certain dates. Okay. But again, so let's say if you put like this and we'll be giving the discount only this date. It should not be like that, right? Conditions. Okay. And sometimes what we do is, so let's say the flows have been migrated to the production environment with the assignments, and let's say you deleted some assignment, okay, and you are moving that flow again to the production. So in that case, like, so since you are removing the assignment, so it will impact on the existing assignments which are not resolved. Okay. But, you don't want that assignment, as per the requirement. And what you can do is you can put the circumstance and you can make that process execute from, certain date. So that like, the assignments which were created before that will not have any issue. Okay. In some cases, so we go for date. Mostly we choose, property or template. Any questions so far? So now, so we defined, so we have designed the approval process, and so we haven't routed it, right? So if you look at this, so if you look at an assignment, so the by default you see route to option is current operator. So if I execute the flow now, I'm able to perform this, and this one also. It should not be like that, right? So it has to go for some operator, mean like some manager, so that only that manager should be able to perform this assignment, not by other operators, right? So here we need to change the route to option from current operator to another operators. Okay. This routing option identifies who will work on an assignment as a case moves from one assignment to another assignment. Okay, it's very important concept. So put it in routing. The routing identifies who will work an assignment as case moves from one assignment to another assignment. Or simply can put, transferring the work to the operator or operators. Transferring the work means assignment to the operator or group of operators. Let's say there are 3 different loan officers available in the application, mean like in the bank. And so if any one of the loan officer approves, it has to be completed. Okay, so that like you need to define all those 3 operators, and when it reaches to that assignment, it will be routed to all those 3. Anyone can pick the assignment and can perform it, means either approving or rejecting. Okay, so here the mainly we have 2 different types of routings available. So one is work list and another is work basket. Okay, so work list is for routing to the single operator. Okay, so routing and assignment to the single operator. See here, the operator. So you need to define operator. Let's say, so we have a operator called manager at the rate of PMC. Okay, so this will be routed to the manager. And work queue. So this is also referred as work basket. In some versions we call it work basket, and from 7.3 or 4 onwards we are calling it work queue. So in even 8 version also we call it work queue. Okay, so work queue is for multiple operators, so you can route the assignment to the multiple operators. Let's say we have a work basket called default at the rate of PMC, and the work basket means work queue in turn inside the work queue, so we'll have a work group defined. Okay, so that work group will be defined in the operator profile. Okay, so let me explain here. So if we take any operator, so we'll have some work group. So that means this operator belongs to this work group. Okay, so in order to route an assignment to multiple operators, so what you need to do is create a work group. Okay, and let's say work group is loan officer work group. Okay, and you define this loan officer work group to the operators. Let's say, so there is a loan officer 1, loan officer 2, like this. So go to the loan officer 1 operator and define this work group. Go to the 2 and define this work group. Okay, and create a work queue and define in the work basket. Sorry, define in the work group. Next step is create a work queue. Let's say loan officer work queue, and you need to define the work queue in the work group. So there will be option to invoke. Okay, and you need to define work group in work queue as well, vice versa. but while routing, so you cannot define the work group. So you need to define the work queue. So now internally it will check what work group it is defined. Okay, that is loan officer work group, and that loan officer work group is defined for what operators? That is defined for loan officer 1 and 2. That means, so this assignment will be routed to loan officer 1 and 2 if you put loan officer work. Okay, any question? So
Satya,
now, yeah,
the operator can an operator have more than one?
yes, yeah. So here you can put multiple work groups. Okay, but so let's say you define the work group here, another work group, let's say loan officer work group, and if you route an assignment to this corresponding, means like default PNC related work basket mean work queue, or this specified work group related work queue, so this operator will receive that work. Okay, so if you
But at
define
a
multiple,
time, they will be having access to only one work group, right?
yeah, the default one is this one, but like you can define multiple. So
No,
though if you,
what
yeah,
I'm trying to ask is, suppose we define another work group and select that particular work group. So that operator will now have access to the queue which is associated with the new work group.
okay, yeah, you can define multiple, but like so while checking, so it will so while routing, so we will specify work queue, right? So
Yeah.
that work queue, inside that work queue, what work group is specified? Let's say some xyz here, right?
Yes.
So it will check, yeah, so xyz operator is defined for how many operators? Okay, but this order, like so we have other functionalities. So in that case, like it will check the order of work groups, and also we'll discuss about that. Okay,
Okay.
right? So now let's create a new work group and work basket here. So either we can create manually, like how we create operators, or we can also save as the existing work group. So take any work group which is available in the system and save as with the different name. Let's say PNC loan officer work group. So this one, okay, no need to modify. And so we do not have any work queue here, right, currently. So now so we created a work group, but we don't have work queue. Take the existing work queue and again save as. Okay, put so loan officer, PNC loan officer work queue. Right. So now Here what work group we need to specify? That is PNC loan officer work group. Save it. Now come back to the work group and specify the work queue. Okay. So create a work group and specify the work queue inside that, and create a work queue and specify work group. Okay. So now while routing, so we see this option. Let's go to the approval process. Okay. So here, so we have option to invoke the work queue. PNC loan officer work queue. But before that, what we need to do? So take this work queue and define in the operators. Okay. So let's create, loan officer 1 and loan officer 2 operators and specify this work queue.
Let us specify work queue or
Work groups. Work group one. Yeah, so take the manager operator and save as. And let's say if this loan officer is having different functionalities than manager, again, so you need to create different other roles. Okay. So if we save as like, the loan officer also will be like manager. Okay. So take the manager operator and save as loan officer 1 and 2. Okay. So go here and change the work group to PNC loan officer work group. Loan officer 1. Similarly, save as with loan officer 2 and specify the work. Okay, it is already specified, right? That's it. Okay, so now go to the approval process. So here, the manager approvals. Let's route this to operator, means like work list, that is manager @ PNC. Okay, and this loan officer approvals. Let's route this assignment to the work queue. Okay, so once you route, you will see this option. This is routing symbol. So now this one route it to the work queue. What is that? Loan officer PNC loan officer work queue. Okay, so now let's execute the flow and see whether it is routing to the appropriate users or not. Okay, so we will test this tomorrow. Okay, and so once this routing is completed, so we will work on SLA, service level agreements. Okay, so once it goes for manager, so manager has to take necessary action on that assignment within certain time intervals, right? So for that, so we need to configure service level agreements. Okay, so tomorrow we will test this flow and we'll log in into application with those operators, and we'll check whether they're able to perform or not. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.